Anno 1660, Aetatis, Suae 15, Great Harbor. Chapter 1. He is coming on the Lord's day. Though my father has not seen fit to give me the news, I have the whole of it. They supposed I slept, which I might have done as I do each night while my father and Makepeace whisper together on the far side of the blanket that divides our chamber. Most nights I take comfort in the low murmur of their voices. But last evening Makepeace's voice rose urgent and anguished before my father hushed him. I expect that was what pulled me back from sleep. My brother frowns on excessive displays of temperament. I turned on my shakedown then and wondered in a drowsy way what it was that exercised him so. I could not hear what my father said, but then my brother's voice rose again. "How can you expose Bethia in this way?" Of course, once I caught my own name, that was an end to it. I was fully awake. I raised my head and strained to hear more. It was not difficult, for Makepeace could not govern his tongue, and though I could not make out my father's words at all, fragments of my brother's replies were clear. "Of what matter that he prays? He is only, what is it? Not yet a year removed from paganism, and that man who long had charge of him is Satan's thrall, the most stiff-necked and dangerous of all of them, as you have said yourself often enough." My father cut in then, but Makepeace would not be hushed. "Of course not, father, nor do I question his ability, but because he has a facility for Latin does not mean he knows the decencies required of him in a Christian home. The risk is—" At that moment Solace cried out, so I reached for her. They perceived I was awake then and said no more. But it was enough. I wrapped up Solace and drew her to me on the shakedown. She shaped herself against me like a nestling bird and settled easily back to sleep. I lay awake, staring into the dark, running my hand along the rough edge of the roof beam that slanted an arm's length above my head. 5 days from now, the same roof will cover us both. Caleb is coming to live in this house. In the morning, I did not speak of what I had overheard. Listening, not speaking, has been my way. I have become most proficient in it. My mother taught me the use of silence. While she lived, I think that not above a dozen people in the settlement ever heard the sound of her voice. It was a fine voice, low and mellow, carrying the lilt of the Wiltshire village in England where she had passed her girlhood. She would laugh and make rhymes full of the strange words of that place and tell us tales of things we had never seen. Cathedrals and carriages, great rivers wide as our harbor, and streets of shops where one who had the coin might buy all manner of goods. But this was within the house when we were a family. When she went about in the world, it was with downcast eyes and sealed lips. She was like a butterfly, full of color and vibrancy when she chose to open her wings, yet hardly visible when she closed them. Her modesty was like a cloak that she put on, and so adorned in meekness and discretion, it seemed she passed almost hidden from people, so that betimes they would speak in front of her as if she were not there. Later, at board, if the matter was fit for childish ears, she would relate this or that important or diverting news she had gleaned about our neighbors and how they did. Oft-times what she learned was of great use to father in his ministry or to grandfather in his magistracy. I copied her in this, and that was how I learned I was to loose her. Our neighbor, Goody Branch, who is midwife here, had sent me off to her cottage to fetch more groaning beer, in the hope that it would cool my mother's childbed fever. Anxious as I was to fetch it back for her, I stood by the latch for some minutes when I heard my mother speaking. What she spake concerned her death. I waited to hear Goody Branch contradict her, to tell her all would be well, but no such words came. Instead, Goody Branch answered that she would see to certain matters that troubled me.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?